صلوات وسلام.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Ustadha Amina Blake speaking to you from Sheffield, United Kingdom. Alhamdulillah. Now, we just finished Ramadan, right? And we're now over Eid. So at this point, you might feel that you're hitting what I call the post-Ramadan dive or the post-Ramadan dip. Let's think, first of all, how we can avoid doing that. How can we avoid hitting that dip where it feels like Ramadan's a long way away and it's a long time ago, and we feel like the things that we built during that month are kind of dripping away a little bit? First of all, we need to think about, what was Ramadan about? What did I build during Ramadan? What were your successes? What boxes did you tick during the month of Ramadan? Remember, the hearts in Ramadan, they become like a fortress, yeah, strong like a fortress. So they are like a fort, like a castle with new soldiers guarding it. And then as soon as Maghrib comes on Eid, and we don't notice it for a couple of days, guys. The shayateen, they're not stupid. They come in there very carefully. The ranks of the shayateen, and they will come in ranks, will attack you again and again and again. But remember, your heart is strengthened and protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have the malaika with you who are giving you the good news and helping you, whispering good things to you to do. So how do you maintain what you built? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He loves the sabirin, the ones who are patient. And in this case, the sabirin is referring to what? The ones who are consistent with their actions. So first of all, make your mind up not to lose what you've gained during the month of Ramadan. Make your mind up that whatever you built, you're going to continue maintaining and building on top of that, rather than just letting it go, going back to how you were before Ramadan and then starting it all again this time next year when you're hitting the next Ramadan. Now, there's another way to do this. First of all, biniyya, by the intention, because the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that the actions are but by intention. So you must have the resolve and the intention and the strength while your heart is strong. Maybe your body is feeling weak, but believe me, your heart is spiritually strong. You can do this, my dear brothers and sisters. So make that resolve to continue what you started. The second thing you can do is by actually building in the rewards of an extra year's fast, which includes this Ramadan. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever fasts the month of Ramadan and then follows it with sitta ayyam, 6 days in the month of Shawwal, it will be as if he or she fasted for the whole year, the entire year. Now, there are slightly different narrations on this hadith, but here we're going to be looking at the one that talks about the whole year. Now, here we can see that the month of Ramadan consists of 30 days. Now, if we team this up with other hadiths, we know that each hasana is, or each good deed or blessing is multiplied by 10 hasanat, all right, according to other hadiths. So if you imagine, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for each hasana 10 hasanas like it, then 30 days of fasting equals 10 months. Now, let's look at the 6 days of the month of Shawwal. 6 days fasting times by 10 hasanat makes 60 days of fasting. That's 2 months. So the 10 months was your Ramadan, and the 2 months is your 6 days, sitta ayyam of Shawwal. Now, the fuqaha, Hanbali and Shafi'i, they explain that fasting the 6 days of Shawwal after fasting Ramadan makes it as if somebody has fasted for an entire year of obligatory fasts. Why? Because the multiplication of the reward, the barakah, the way that it's multiplied, it applies to even the nawafil fasts. And we can see in the maths and actually see by the difficulty after Ramadan that we have in maintaining, and it's much harder, right, to fast after the month of Ramadan than it is during the month of Ramadan. So the harder something is to do, my dear brothers and sisters, the more barakah, the more blessing, the more reward, inshallah ta'ala, we'll get for actually achieving that and for doing that. So imagine this, fasting in Ramadan is hard enough. Fasting out of Ramadan is even harder. So even if you are somebody who doesn't usually fast the 6 days of Shawwal, make your intention, make your resolve, make your heart strong, understand how strong you are inside, and do this. Just do this. It's just 6 days. You just did the whole of Ramadan. Now, khalas, 6 days. It's not much, right? So we need to think about that. So why is there such a huge reward for the month of Shawwal and doing these Sitta Ayyam, these 6 days? So the reward, of course, matches the difficulty. So what if you didn't manage it? If you have the intention to do a good deed, according to the hadith literature, even if you don't manage to do that good deed, you still get hasanah for that, okay? So even if you intend it and don't manage it, you still get good deeds for that. But also we are developing something called our sabr, our patience, and Abu Uthman radhiyallahu anh says the person who is of the Sabirin is the one who has trained themselves to handle difficulties. Now those difficulties might be the tests that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends to us, but those difficulties might also be developing ourselves spiritually and taking ourselves a little bit out of our comfort zone with regards to building good deeds. Now, patience, you could say, is divided into categories. So firstly, we have the sabr in the times of when we have hardship. How patient are you during hardship? The second one is having sabr when you're pushing yourself to achieve something. And the third one is the type of sabr when we actually withhold ourselves from doing something. So have a look at those 3 categories and think about, how can I continue the blessings of Ramadan and the good deeds of Ramadan, the Amalus Salihat that you all build? How can I contain them and keep them and to continue those and build on those through the months ahead, including this amazing month? We should overcome laziness when we're trying to achieve sabr in our ibadah, in our worship. And this is what Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah tells us. Let's retrain the heart to go back to Ramadan. So if you feel yourself dripping away, then go back into the month of Ramadan and think to yourself, okay, I want that feeling back. I want that Ramadan spirit back. And if you want that, then Allah will answer your dua, inshallah, because maintaining this is something amazing. And actually, even the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam sometimes struggled to remain patient. There's a very nice hadith where the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he sees his grandsons, Hassan and Hussein, radhiyallahu anhum, and they are very small children at this time, so they're toddling around, they're running, they're falling over, they're putting themselves in danger like toddlers do. And he actually interrupts his speech and goes to pick them up in his arms, saying, indeed, Allah has spoken the truth when he says, amongst your wives and the children are some that are tests for yourselves. I saw the boys falling. I didn't have the patience to continue my khutbah because he's giving a khutbah, so I stopped and picked them up. My dear brothers and sisters, keep on trying. You can do this. You've got this. Do you know why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got you back. You just have to believe it. Jazakum Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.